again, it's Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit here on MAV TV, talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week, and we are so glad that you have joined us. Steve Post and filling in for Ashley. Our normal replacement is Aaron. We have got the equally as attractive Dillon Welch joins us. Hey man, how are you?
I don't know about that, but that's quite an introduction. But no, glad to be here, Posty. Thanks.
Dillon, of course, one of the co-hosts of Rip the Fence. You can catch that on MRN, Motor Racing Network, and ripthefence.com. They do traditional sprint car racing, and Dillon, of course, a racer himself. You catch him running his USAC midget car across the country. So we're glad you joined us. We always get a chance to talk around the aisles and in the truck at MRN, but nice to be here on set and talk a little sprint car racing.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, you and I have had that in common since since I started at the Motor Racing Network, our passion for sprint car racing. So always been a fan of the show. So glad to be able to host it today with you. So
it's
looking
cool.
forward to it.
Really, really cool. I'm telling you, we're in and amongst opening weekend. Of course, the All-Stars have fired off and Volusia is up and running and everything. Dillon, this is where race fans take over. There is nothing better than opening weekend, and there'll be more coming up this season, but there's nothing better than opening weekend.
Yeah, and there's so many different series that are really kicking off the racing this weekend. So you've got on the non-wing side, even you got the USAC midgets and everything, and the sprint cars next weekend. So wing racing this weekend and everything. So it's a fun time of year for sure. The excitement is building, and you got new guys and new cars, and it's a lot of fun.
You know, I'm very, very savvy. I'm very, very aggressive and pro social media. I love it. I'm fine with it. I mean, there's a negative connotation to it. But one thing it's ruined for me, okay? Everyone puts their paint schemes out there. And what it's ruined for me is that opening night when you're like, and there's always one car, it's like, wow, that guy changed everything. That's the only thing, that opening night, we just don't get that sizzle effect of opening night with a strange-looking car, it seems like, anymore.
I agree. And to kind of play devil's advocate, it sort of helps build the excitement, though, even that much more, because you're seeing everybody's cars are coming together, and we know we're getting close.
Can't wait to see him on the racetrack, that is for sure. And can't wait to see our guest on the racetrack, David Gravel. What a season he has lined up, and we'll talk to him next.
Hey Ashley, what are you up to?
Oh, I just stopped by to grab some sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
You can never go wrong with a Honey Crisp. They're light, crisp, and full of perfectly balanced flavor.
Oh, hey.
You could always go with one of their classics, the Gala or Fuji. They're both sweet and juicy.
Grown in the heart of Eastern Washington, Sage Fruit Company works hard on the farm and with their retail partners to provide high-quality apples and pears to consumers all year long.
Well, I couldn't decide which ones. Thanks for the help, guys.
I'll race you to checkout.
Welcome back. It is Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit. Joining us on the Hercules Tire Hotline, this guy, so much going on in his life. David Gravel joins us. Hello, David. Welcome into Wing Nation.
Thank you, guys. I'm doing great. How are you?
We are doing well. David, I think I want to go off track first because that's the most recent event, if you will. The wedding on Friday night. Congratulations. Boy, it looks like you guys threw down a party.
Yeah, thank you. It was definitely a good time. Everybody was dancing all night long. It was couldn't have gotten any better. So I was happy, and we're all happy how it went.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you said that you're in shorts and flip-flops today, so you can't get much better than that either. Sounds like the weather is pretty good, too.
Yeah, so far I'm very happy with moving to West Palm Beach to really enjoy my off-season, kind of decompress and, just get prepared for our long seasons we have.
All right. Now, you did something at your wedding that I just thought was really cool. When you came into the reception, you had a special introduction that the one and only Johnny Gibson did. How did you come up with that? How did that all work out?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It was actually my mom's idea, and we contacted him kind of last minute, and it all just worked out. He just got back from Australia, and I think Friday morning is when he did it really fast, and he sent me the first take of it, and I was like, man, you killed it. So it was perfect. So we didn't have to change anything.
That's awesome. Yeah, very cool. So kind of getting to business now from one fun weekend to the next coming up this weekend. You're set to make your ARCA debut. So what are your thoughts and kind of excitement levels you get set to hit the high banks of Daytona here in a few days?
Yeah, definitely excited to race cars legit instead of just practicing, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. The pit stuff I haven't worked on yet, get on and off pit road. Luckily, hopefully, there's only one pit stop and gas only. So I'm looking forward to the practice day on Friday and try to practice those things. But the guy's been working out the car back at GMS, preparing it. So I think we'll have a pretty solid piece and should be competitive. But, the main thing is try to run most of the race or at least finish the race first and, see where we end up at the end.
David's story is amazing. So much success, including the Knoxville Nationals Championship, going stock car racing some, got some truck races, and as Dillon mentioned, kicking it off with the ARCA race this tonight, actually, as you're watching this on MAV TV at the Daytona International Speedway. David, you had a test session. Was there anything comparable to what you've done before? And I know it was single car runs, but how different was it, that ARCA car at Daytona?
It's definitely different. Sitting in the car at the shop, you sit in the car so much different. Your vision is way different. But when you got on the racetrack, it wasn't that bad. It's just like going down a banked freeway full speed. But, the cars handle good. I feel it only gets a little bit weird or difficult if you start hitting the apron or start getting on that line and the car starts kind of wiggling around, and then in the draft a little bit. But overall, to make laps by yourself, it really only took a lap or so to really be like, oh, okay, this is it. So the G-force is really cool with how banked the track is. When you go in the corner, it really pushes you down in the seat.
With this being your first foray really into stock car racing, what are your expectations? What makes it a good weekend for you behind the wheel of this ARCA car?
Yeah, well, my first goal is I want to finish. Obviously Daytona, there's all sorts of stuff that could happen, and I'm hoping to race a smart race and put ourselves in position to finish the race first, but obviously be competitive and be right there at the end. So we're just going to go with it, and, I would love to win the race, but my ultimate goal is to get approved to race those 1.5 mile races. So I got to race the way I do and move on from there. But I'm excited. I'm a competitive guy, so I'm not going to just be riding around, but I can't put myself in jeopardy early on.
Yeah. Hey, have you reached out to any of your NASCAR driving buddies that dabble in sprint cars, or Jeff Gordon obviously has been a big part of this as well? Have you picked these guys' brain to get some ideas on what to do?
Yeah, I would say Larson and Ricky Stenhouse and Christopher Bell. But Jeff has given me a lot of insight. Everybody's lingo is a little different. Everybody has a little bit different driving characteristics and stuff like that. And they're just kind of telling me what to expect. And then kind of from there, I got to try it out and then maybe come back with them with questions after, like, hey, what do you do here or stuff like that. But Jeff is going to be either in the spotter's booth or on the pit box, so he'll be on the radio also. So if I'm doing anything wrong, he could yell at me.
There you have it. Wow.
That's cool.
I want to support. Hey, we're very fortunate, David, and I know Dillon and I. Actually, Motor Racing Network is doing the ARCA race, and Dillon and I'll be down on pit road. So we look forward to covering that. And of course, you can catch that on Motor Racing Network later today. If you haven't recorded this and you're watching us live here on MAV TV, we'll be on later today with the ARCA race. I think a 4:30 Eastern time airtime. David, hang in there with us. Everyone else, stick around. More with David Gravel in just a moment.
Hey, Ashley, what are you up to?
Oh, I just stopped by to grab some sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
You can never go wrong with a Honey Crisp. They're light, crisp, and full of perfectly balanced flavor.
Oh, hey.
You could always go with one of their classics, the Gala or Fuji. They're both sweet and juicy.
Grown in the heart of Eastern Washington, Sage Fruit Company works hard on the farm and with their retail partners to provide high-quality apples and pears to consumers all year long.
Well, I couldn't decide which ones. Thanks for the help, guys.
I'll race you to checkout.
David Gravel joins us here on the Hercules Tire Hotline here on Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV. Dillon Welch and Steve Post here in studio. David, I know we shared this story last year, but I know we have so many new people kind of jumping in to Wing Nation. We seem to keep growing by leaps and bounds as the sprint car world does. And the whole way this came about, this ARCA and then NASCAR experience, it was through a meeting with Jeff Gordon at the Chili Bowl. Just kind of big picture, take us through this, how this developed.
Yeah, I was hanging out with Rico at the Hard Rock Casino, and we were sitting at the center bar there, which is called the Amp Bar now. But just hung out at a circle table talking, and I met Jeff Gordon, and I don't know if he's just been watching me or what, but I sat next to him, and he kind of just turned towards me, and we kind of talked for several hours and exchanged phone numbers, and stuff started snowballing from there. And never met the guy before that, and it was pretty cool. So he was saying he wanted to try to get me a sponsor for Knoxville and possibly a sponsor to run the truck race at Eldora, and that was our initial goals, and to get Exalta on the car for Knoxville and then winning the race. I feel as we had a lot of pressure going in there, and to have a solid run would be important, but to win our preliminary night, to win the final night, I'm guessing nobody expected that, even though I've been fast there. The 41's been fast there, but, it's our first nationals together as a team, and just for how everything went, obviously I feel like it was meant to be.
Yeah.
You and I are about the same age, David, and when we were growing up, Jeff's success obviously was kind of ascending him into Hall of Fame status even when he was beginning his career. And for a lot of young race fans, I'm sure he was a hero. I don't know if he was a hero of yours or not, but the fact that it was Jeff Gordon that was sitting there talking to you and wanting to help you, have you had a moment where you've been able to sit back and kind of think about how crazy or cool that really is?
My wife definitely reminds me that. It's like, how cool is it that Jeff Gordon's reaching out to you and giving you advice and setting up all these meetings and doing all these things? It's pretty cool. For me, I'm just kind of in the moment and just trying to handle everything and do the right things and focus at the job at hand. But it's definitely really cool. I feel as at my age, at 27, I've accomplished a lot in a sprint car, and I've always been wanting that chance, and for it to come, I would like it to be sooner, but I'm happy I at least get one, because at the end of the day, I would regret if I never got a chance, or I'd probably be upset about it. So I'm happy to get this chance and opportunity, and I'll be prepared to do the best that I can.
We had a conversation, you and I did a couple of years ago, a year and a half or 2 years ago at Lakeside Speedway, and I guess I wasn't aware of it. I've always just thought of David Gravel as sprint car driver, but this really, to go stock car racing in NASCAR has actually kind of been your dream. Has to be really neat to see this come together.
Yeah, for sure. I'm from Connecticut. There's Whelen Modified Tour there.
Yeah.
That's all there is. We didn't really have much more. So I grew up going to NASCAR races as a little kid. My dad was a huge NASCAR fan. Like, my wallpaper used to be cases of NASCAR die-cast cars. And, my aunt was a huge Jeff Gordon fan growing up. And I posted that picture in that little mini Jeff Gordon car at the NASCAR race when I was small. So that just was our first love and passion for racing. And I love sprint car racing, and I'm really happy the route I took. I mean, I'm able to make a good living for myself, met so many great people, coast to coast, and I'm definitely not upset the way I went, and it's all working out.
And kind of speaking on the sprint car side of things, obviously that's going to be a majority of your focus this year. Season's about to kick off. Are you ready to get things going again and get back behind the wheel of the 41 car?
Yeah, for sure. The typical struggle in sprint car racing is having crew guys and crew guys stick with you. So we have new people around us, and it's going to be a little bit of a learning process to start getting comfortable with everybody. But, the key parts of me and Sil are still there. Same equipment, same motor program. So we actually had several issues last year at Volusia with ignition stuff, blowing an engine, and our fueling was way off. So I'm really excited to go to Volusia with all those things sorted out. And then you guys saw throughout the season how good we qualified. So after Vegas last year is when we finally got stuff sorted. So I'm excited to go down there. Hopefully we have the speed we did last year and, have a good week.
All right, David. Now, most people in the racing business get married. We've talked about that right at the beginning. Get married right at the end of the season so they can go have a throwdown. You're getting married, but the calendar says, wait a minute, you got married and you got to go to work. Now, Is there a honeymoon planned? Is there any celebration of this marriage?
Yeah, for sure. Our lives are complicated. I had no idea what my schedule was going to be.
That's true.
On the truck side, they're racing Homestead in Vegas after Volusia here when we're not racing at all. So I thought, maybe I'm going to have to run those races. But that didn't happen. So now we have like 3 to 4 weeks off after Volusia before we get going again. So we're going February 18th to Hawaii for 10 days, and we're going to go there. So we've only been engaged for like 6 months, so everything kind of fast forward and happened quick. Jill's brother, is getting married in a couple months, so it was kind of our window of opportunity to get it done, and we were able to do it.
Well, it's so exciting. I love good things happening to good people. You're one of the great guys, and the racing opportunities and the wedding as well. David, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us, and can't wait to see how everything unfolds for you this year.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for everything.
We appreciate David Gravel joining us on the Hercules Tire Hotline. Don't go away. When we come back, Kyle Larson joins us here on the program.
It's one of the greatest events in sports, and the one you have to witness in person. This is the Daytona 500. Get your tickets today at 1-800-PIT-SHOP or Daytona500.com.
Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit, continues on here on MAV TV. We've caught up with the Chili Bowl champion, Kyle Larson. How does that sound to finally have that driller and finally have that title?
Oh, it's good. It's good. It's been something I've been working towards for a long time and have been close, a handful of times. So I've had some major heartbreak go on in that building before. So it's just good to finally know that I can check that one off the list.
You did it in different form as far as the team and everything. You'd been aligned with Keith Coons and had a lot of success there. Doing it on your own, what did that mean for you to finally check it off and to do it with you and Paul Silva and your own team?
It was definitely satisfying to do it with Paul. Somebody, the Chili Bowl is a tough event, and for him to come in there and win it in his first try is something spectacular. So definitely special to win. In my own stuff, but mostly it doesn't even really feel any different than normal as far as like when I race for him in a sprint car, and I don't own that, but it doesn't, he's so hands-on with my midget, it doesn't feel like I own it, even though I pay the bills on it, but just him working on it makes it feel like his operation, but just really, really special to win it with him.
Kyle, I've described the last few laps as just an absolute circus, and I know you're out there wheeling that car, but as we got to 5 laps, then 3 laps, then 2 laps, the crowd rose, and then your celebration, what did the excitement feel like as you realized that everybody in this building was cheering for the same thing, and that was you that night? Yeah,
no, it's cool. I feel like I'm a favorite when I go in that building just because, I think a lot of the fans can see the heartbreak that I've gone through in years past, and they want me to win as much as I want to win. So, when I passed Christopher for the lead, under green, I could see them going crazy. Off of turn 2 and down the front stretch, I could see the fans going nuts. So it was hard to stay calm, and I felt like I did a good job of staying calm until the last 5 laps. I start counting them down like 5, 4, and then I'm getting nervous and starting to make mistakes, and had to just back it down even more to try and limit my mistakes. But just awesome. I've been a part of a few moments there where I've been able to see the crowd go crazy like that. But this time to have the crowd go crazy and then me win was special.
Very special indeed. All right, we're rolling along into the World of Outlaw season. How are things looking for Carson, his team, your team, as they get ready to embark on this 10 months of World of Outlaw racing?
Yeah, I'm excited. Carson and Joe now have a full year under their belt on the road with Trey. We have new guy Patrick on the team who spent some time with Jason Johnson Racing. So everybody's got experience down the road. So I think that they'll be able to do even better than they did last year. And they probably outperformed what I thought they were going to do. Winning 4 races and not tearing up too much equipment was good. This year could be totally different, but I was proud of them for that. So we'll see. Same cars, same engines, different look on the car, but excited. I think they'll do a really good job.
And how tough is the world of outlaw touring? Now, this second season has got to be just the lessons learned for a young guy like Carson. Just what's that like? I know you've not done it, but you've been such a big part of it. What's that got to be like him as he comes back for another round?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know. Because I've never done it, and it's just got to be grueling. Spending that much time on the road. So. I don't even know what it would be like to race that often, and if you're in a slump, it's got to be hard to get out of it. So it's just probably a tough year to just stay positive the whole time and stay motivated too. I think when you're racing that often and away from home, but thankfully with our team, Joe gets to bring his wife on the road. He's got his motorhome. Trey and Carson and I believe Patrick are all single young guys, so they can have a good time and enjoy themselves away from the racetrack. So Carson loves it, and they're all having fun. So that's the main thing.
That is the main thing. As this is airing Saturday, practice starting for Daytona for you with the NASCAR side. How are you shaping up for the NASCAR Tour this year with your real job? How are things looking at Chip Ganassi Racing?
Looking good. We have a new body style this year with the Chevrolets, so that all has sounded positive. Everything that's gone on in the wind tunnel seems really good. So I'm excited to get on track and hopefully have even better results than we did last year. I felt like we ended the year really good. So if we can start this year off well and carry that on through the end of the season, I think we can have a really, really strong year.
Well, congratulations on the Chili Bowl. We wish you the best. Your sprint car, Carson's sprint car, and on the NASCAR season. Thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation.
Yeah, thank you guys.
How about that? Kyle Larson joining us here on Wing Nation. Stay with us. More in just a moment.
Hey, Ashley, what are you up to?
Oh, I just stopped by to grab some sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
You can never go wrong with a Honey Crisp. They're light, crisp, and full of perfectly balanced flavor.
Oh, hey.
You could always go with one of their classics, the Gala or Fuji. They're both sweet and juicy.
Grown in the heart of Eastern Washington, Sage Fruit Company works hard on the farm and with their retail partners to provide high-quality apples and pears to consumers all year long.
Well, I couldn't decide which ones. Thanks for the help, guys.
I'll race you to checkout.
Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV. Dillon, Welch, and Steve Post here. And, man, I'll tell you what, talking to Gravel, Larson, of course, still on a high after the Chili Bowl. Season is beginning, but those guys got a lot of good things going on in life already.
Yeah, 2 guys that have had a good off season,
Yes.
so to speak, if you want to call Larson's forays into the midgets and everything in off season. But 2 guys too that have a lot to look forward to in 2020. So excited to watch David in the stock cars, and I'm already excited to watch him in that truck at Eldora. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
I think that's going to be fun as well. One of the things I'm excited about is this Monday and Tuesday, East Bay. East Bay is one of those tracks that I've always heard about. And the All-Stars are going over there. They always run the sprint cars at East Bay the weekend of the Daytona 500, the Ronald Laney Memorial, and I never can make it over because of stuff at Daytona. I'm going over. Monday night, I'm going to East Bay. I'm gonna catch a first race at East Bay.
Well, it's nice of them to schedule it so you could make it.
Absolutely. They're working around me. And, of course, next week at Bubba Raceway Park down in Ocala, the USAC Sprint Cars kick off as well.
That's right, yeah, and the midgets there this weekend as well, this coming weekend. So a lot of excitement in the dirt world right now. Racing's here.
Absolutely. That's Dillon Welch. You can catch him on Rip the Fence at ripthefence.com or on Motor Racing Network. We appreciate you sitting in, spending time with us. Thanks to David Gravel and Kyle Larson, and thank you for joining us here on Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit.